Bye week for Alabama, and it's Halloween. We're going to talk about the Crimson Tide and celebrate Jake's Halloween costume. All that right here. Should I edit this?
Just keep going.
All right. Here's the start of the show. All right, how unprofessional is that? What a start to the show. That's Jake Coker. I'm Mick Gillispie. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys, on Elephant in the Room. And you got your open, everything that you love. And here we go. Talk a little Alabama football on Halloween. So what are you going for? You want me to tell you what my costume is?
So, I look like shit, huh? I'm going for Jay Barker.
You've been accused of that a few times. Jay, you better come down here and get on the show.
That's right.
We're going to have to just start.
The jokes are going to keep flying until he shows up.
That's right. That's right. I got to see him.
Uh,
We talked to him for a little bit on text in Nashville, but we didn't come hang with us.
Yeah.
We're coming at you, man.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Jim Henson. Hi-ho, Kermit the Frog here.
I didn't even know you were going to do that prior to the show.
You didn't know I was wearing a Muppet Show shirt? I think that was a little bit. Do you remember the Muppet Show?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
This is the host that I wanted to be, when I was a kid. Like, everything I do.
That was your first.
Hey, did you see him? He was like the host of the show, and then on Sesame Street, he was a news reporter. You remember that?
I don't remember that much detail. That was your first inspiration, huh?
Yeah, well, you know what? I mean, look at him. There's my arm in there. What if I just did the whole show like this? All right, Jake, what'd you think of the game?
I'd have to get out of here.
You have to bust out. This is what you do. This is what you do during the off week, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Man, I'm glad we have one. Perfect timing.
Mm-hmm.
Feel like we're beat up. Kind of need that.
Just look him in the eyes. Man, are you taking the kids out for Halloween?
Oh yeah. I'm about to get geared up.
What do you guys? Did you say Minions? Is that what you said?
No, my oldest daughter's a witch, and then my youngest is just wearing something that Palmer wore when she was 1.
Oh yeah, a hand-me-down costume.
Yeah.
That was Mike Johnson said that his kids are Minions.
Yeah, I just had to tell my wife. I was like, "Look, she's 1. She's not going to remember this. Let's not go all out.
Yeah, you don't spend any money. Let's just go in
like
the closet
when they're 1 or 2.
Yeah, right.
Come on.
Yeah, Palmer's not getting shit.
When Palmer was like 1 and 2, we were both into it, because we want Christmas to be, great big experience for them. And, when she's 1, we got her whatever toys and, spent money on it. And she's like, and just plays with the box.
Yeah.
Like,
I remember those days.
I mean, like, okay.
Well, ask me what I'm going as.
Eli Gold.
Yeah. No, Kermit the Frog. No, really, I'm going as Jerry Garcia tonight. So I got the glasses and the wig, the beard and everything.
Yeah.
And then I got Jake, the orange dancing bear costume. He doesn't even know yet. My Jake.
He doesn't like Halloween.
He's
not into it.
He once you get out and do it, he enjoys it. He likes going to our friend's house, Bricken and Jay and some of our friends around
man,
and popping in on them.
I hate Halloween.
You do?
Yeah, I just it's, to me,
come on.
I can't wait to get to Thanksgiving and Christmas. I love the Thanksgiving. I don't know. Christmas is the best.
Yeah.
But Thanksgiving in terms of just relaxing maybe the best, because Christmas, you're bouncing around, you're trying to see everybody. which is great.
Mhm.
But when you got two little kids, it's hard to bounce, bob and weave.
Well, you don't like spending money, so Christmas is not your holiday. But you love to eat.
No, hey,
but you love to eat.
I will say though, Christmas is one thing to me where
You
everybody's got to get something and get something good in my house.
All right. Yeah.
Because I want everybody to love Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a fun holiday, man.
Oh yeah.
It really is.
Oh yeah. That's what my wife we're moving, and I was like, all right, what do you want for Christmas? And she's like, nothing. Let's just worry about the house. I was like, nah, we got to do something for Christmas.
Yeah. Right. Right. Well, we're not there yet, but man, it's come fast. I mean, I feel like we did shows last year talking about, because I remember you telling me that Thanksgiving is your favorite holiday.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's hard to beat.
You said that, and I'm just got a flashback. But so this is an off week. Well, Thanksgiving always means the Iron Bowl too for us.
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
There was a couple years. Remember when they decided to play the game on Friday?
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't like that.
I thought I was crazy for thinking
that. No, it happened.
Was what 10 years ago? 15? No, it was longer.
Probably when we were losing.
It was probably 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It happened though. And then it went back to Saturday where it belongs. But
yeah,
I don't know but I guess the reason you do it is because it becomes like it's like the NFL game or something. Like it's like, hey, this is the game.
Yeah.
You know? And it really
like
does
Miss,
feel
Mississippi
like
State on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. And
that's
still don't
college
watch it.
game on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I still don't watch it. Watch some of it.
You don't watch Ole Miss?
I mean, sometimes, but it's I don't know.
See, the only problem to me, the Saturday, I can't stand when Thanksgiving's over.
Yeah,
it sucks when that Saturday ends and the last game's over. You're like, oh man, we got to go back to the real world.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know what though? To be honest with you, for me, the real world's actually pretty fun. You know,
I mean,
when you do this all the time.
I'm joking, but
you got to be at work on 9 o'clock on that Monday though. That stinks.
Well, thanks.
I didn't say that. He did. This guy.
No, Wednesday through Friday is such a, Wednesday, everybody kind of calms down. Thursday, Friday, everybody's, doing their own thing. I mean, I can do everything on my phone those days, and it's just nice to have some just relaxed family time. No fires to put out.
I hear you. Yeah. Oh man, I've got so many questions about your shopping habits on Black Friday, but if I don't get into this football, there's going to be some person that's watched. This is the first episode of the show, right? And they're going to be like, I tried to watch it, but they didn't talk about no football in there. The one guy had a puppet frog.
Or the one comment from 2 weeks ago, Jake's drooling on himself, looking around. He's like, good Lord.
Oh, I love the comments, man. I could tell when you walked up here today, though, you just had like what do they call that? A shit-eating grin. I knew you were going to be in a good mood. I could just tell. You must be happy about something. Because we don't have to work. We don't have to drive anywhere for the tailgate show on Friday, which is fun, man. Doing the tailgate show is fun.
Oh, it's fun.
It really isn't. That doesn't feel like work. Once you start the show, putting it all together is stressful.
Yeah. But getting there is the worst part.
It's the worst part.
Once it starts, golden.
Goes by like that 2 hours goes by like lickety split. And we were talking. I was at the next round yesterday. I did the show, an hour of it with Lance and Ryan Dunaway's in Vegas. And we were talking afterwards about taking this show and maybe doing it at some places around here.
Yeah.
And I thought that'd be fun too. It
would be a good time.
Like popping up and doing it. And so we'll see what happens. But I thought, man, we'd have a fun time because it's fun interacting with everybody. Like when they show up and you get to hang out and connect with people and in the popularity of these shows, it's like, I think people just want to come out. And at this point, if you've watched this show for 100 and some episodes, you probably feel like us pretty good. Then this happens. You knew me.
Are you going to be doing this the whole show?
I'm Jim Henson. At least I'm not doing my Kermit voice. Hey ho. But all right, well, let's talk football. Let's talk some football. Off week for Bama. We recorded a show earlier this week, and the sound didn't work. There was a glitch in the StreamYard, which is the service we use. So you guys didn't get to watch it. And it's a shame because I thought it was a really good show.
Yeah, I think that one would have had about 1 million views.
Felt so
of all the ones to not work.
yeah, it's
My insight was unreal. I just I feel like I've forgotten it all now.
Well, look at your setup now. No, the crazy thing is that you did so good on the analysis of that football game against Missouri that we were like, all right, and this you've graduated to the next stage, and now look at your setup.
Yeah,
you
there was no glitch. You just said the fans aren't ready for that.
Honestly, it really was. Like, I was sitting there listening and watching you talk about the game, and I was like, man, so we'll kind of hit some of that stuff just because you nobody got to hear it except you, me, and Wilson.
Yeah. And nobody's going to know who we're talking
about. Nope, you won't even see it. But let's start with Jalen Milroe. This has been a big topic of conversation. Bama was still 2-9 on third downs in the game against Missouri. They won 34-0. I felt like I felt like it was all wins are good wins, but I haven't been blown away with where this team is right now. I still see a lot of problems, and I see a lot of things that they do well too, right? The front seven's been great. On defense, underwhelmed with the consistency of the offensive line. And it's disappointing because I thought that would be the strength of the team. Okay. But then you take a look at the secondary with all the freshmen. They haven't been terrible, and they're getting better. The Mbakwe's and the Browns and stuff, they're going to be good players, I think, before it's all said and done. And then the combination of Malachi Moore and Bray Hubbard, they scored out amazingly high.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what we were talking Monday. Bray Hubbard was always in the right spot. Always in the right spot, was disciplined, and really the whole team. Saturday, that was the best defensive performance we've seen. And look, I know that the quarterback went down. They were down a running back, down a receiver. Missing some key components, but it was good to see us play consistently on defense. Offensively, the crazy thing about this year to me is first 6 weeks, what I worried about was the defense. Offense was just on fire, and now, and you didn't see a bunch of consistent drives on offense, but we had the explosive plays that we'd score, in 2 minutes, 4 plays, and but you didn't see too much consistency. But that kind of hid the weaknesses, and now you watch the defense over the last 2 games. They played pretty well, and especially this Saturday. The effort, the energy, the focus, they played with detail, especially in the back end. Very good zone integrity, making the windows small. Where guys may be open, but you still got to make a good throw because the coverage was so tight. That's the best you can ask for, right? Guys are going to get open. You just got to make the window of error as small as possible, and but offensively, what still worries me is, we could not put the nail in the coffin, and in the first quarter, had so many opportunities to really do that, and it took an interception with a pretty lengthy return to get us in scoring territory, to put us in that 2 touchdown lead. But what I want to see, and I think there's a combination of things going on here. Right? Jalen, to me, he's not the Garrett Nussmeier. Okay, you're not going to sit back there and pick people apart and win doing that with Jalen. And I'm not saying Jalen can't get there, but as of right now, you're just not seeing that. And I'm not saying that's all on Jalen either. A lot of times what you're seeing is, to me, when you're a consistent offense, you make those intermediate throws at a higher clip than what we're doing right now. And I think that's some of it's Jalen and the offensive line not communicating well and pass pro. I think, sometimes we pick it up. Sometimes we don't do what we're supposed to do. I think it's made Jalen second guess a little bit. And then also you watch some of these routes, and as much talent as I think we have in that receiver room, I do think that our route running sometimes is an issue for Jalen and his timing. Just one clip in particular, you watch what seems to be Ryan Williams just wide open, and Jalen throws it outside of him. And then you see they flip over to Kalen DeBoer, and he's yelling out, out, out. He's got to come out. And so what Jalen's doing right there, I mean, he's expecting, and this is me just seeing what I think I'm seeing here.
And having been in that spot before, and
Yeah,
having been under center before, and you know this
when
stuff.
I was especially with Jimbo, I mean, Jimbo was a quarterback's coach, but he coached the receivers as hard as the quarterbacks because the angles and the timing of a route can be the difference between an interception. What is a good ball could be an interception. What's a good ball could be, look like an awful throw just because you don't understand where your receiver's supposed to be. And when I watch that play and I see Kalen DeBoer yelling, he's got to get out. Jalen's thrown to a spot before he can't wait until Ryan Williams is out of his break and running that out cut. He's got to throw it when he sees his foot stick in the ground and he knows which angle to throw the ball to, whether it's man or zone or whatever the case may be. Our guys and I talked about it in that Vanderbilt game, that pick six. And Ryan is going to be one of the best receivers to ever come out of Alabama. I'm dead set on that. He's just more talented than any receiver I've seen. And but the last thing that you got to develop is that route running technique. Calvin Ridley, once he figured it out, one of the most unbelievable route runners I've seen. Amari Cooper, he is one of the most explosive, most detail oriented route runners I've ever seen. Just you watch him stick his foot in the ground, you watch him manipulate his body to get defenders offset, and then he breaks in or out, and defenders have no idea where they're going, but the quarterback knows exactly what angle he's taking. He knows exactly when to throw the ball because he's got that indicator of when that foot sticks in the ground. Just having that understanding, the Vanderbilt game, he runs that curl and he kind of drifts backwards, instead of sticking and coming right back to the ball. And you just have to have that communication, that chemistry between the receiver and quarterback in order to be consistent on offense. And so I think there's a whole lot of factors at play here when it comes to inconsistency for us, whether it be, protections, routes, Jalen not quite seeing things the way he should. But when you watch this play, you gotta understand there's a lot of problems going on, and we're still 6-2. I mean, for Kalen DeBoer to be here for 6 months, 8 months, whatever it is, just implementing his new system, that's a lot to take in. There's a lot of details that these players have to digest and know like the back of their hand to play as efficiently as possible. And that's very hard to do. And so, I mean, when we were talking over the summer about, over under 9 wins, I mean, I thought we had the talent to do it. I don't know if we had the depth to do it, but I also was sitting here thinking, how long is it going to take for all these guys to understand this and play as a unit with the same understanding from receiver to O-line to running back to quarterback? I mean, it just takes time. And so anyway, that's kind of my 2 cents, but I just think there's a lot of not necessarily anybody's fault. I think it's just implementing this system, but I think there's a little bit of confusion over there, and to me, it's warranted because of how new everything is.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. And that's another thing too, people got to remember. Hey guys, our show's brought to you by mybookie.ag. Use the promo code next round, like this hat, next round, to double your initial deposit. World Series is over. Congratulations to the LA Dodgers and Shohei Ohtani and Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts for winning the World Series. What a great year they had. So you can't bet on the World Series, but you could bet on the futures maybe. Also, without baseball, there's still a lot of stuff going on. NASCAR, which is a really fun sport to go and play. You got NHL, NBA, college basketball. We're going to talk a little bit of college basketball before we get off here, including two of Bama's players as preseason All-Americans, including one first-team All-American and a team that's ranked in the top 5 and as high as number 2 in some polls. Anyway, all that, mybookie.ag. Use that promo code next round to double your initial deposit. Look, I love the breakdown, and that makes perfect sense to me when it comes to kind of like Milroe and then comparing that to, the wide receivers and kind of everyone getting on the same page. What do they need to do, in your opinion, to turn this season into the season they want? Let me give you mine, because I want you to hear what I say, just because if you got some of the same ones or different. But I have 3 things that I think they need to do. I think that they have to, first off, they have to get better on third down, both sides of the ball. They were really good at it at the beginning of the year through the Georgia game. Second half of the Georgia game, something happened, and then they were really terrible at it. 2 for 9 against Missouri, third down offense. Defense did a better job on third down. But the 12 of 16 against Vandy, they were horrible on fourth downs against Georgia. So they've just got to get better in that area. And you looked at the stats. Sidelines Alabama had a stat up before last game, and it was like they were like 120th in one and 94th in another one, for the month of October. That's got to turn around. That's the first thing. Second thing for me, for this team to win and win out, is Milroe's got to run. I mean, when he's struggling, he's in the pocket too much. That's just not his game. His weapon to me is his ability to run the football. He runs the football as good or better than Jam Miller and Justice Haynes. Although Justice had that run last game, that might change my opinion a little bit, But with that said, that's the second thing. And the third thing, and this actually the number one thing, if you ask me, is discipline. They've got to be more disciplined. You can't have players getting penalties and kicking footballs and being frustrated. And you also can't get all the penalties for jumping off sides and holdings and all this stuff. Those 3 things, to me, you clear those 3 areas up, turn those weaknesses into strengths, Bama's running the table.
I mean, the thing to me offensively right now, and I think really you watch LSU play, okay? And Nussmeier to me is the best pocket passer in the SEC right now. But when you look at Jalen, his ability to run the ball allows you to beat anybody in the country. Okay. I mean, if you only have really 1 or 2 phases to your offense, and that being, sitting in the pocket, throwing the ball, or your traditional run game, I mean, that, you can find a way to defend that if you're an elite football team with a lot of talent. Jalen being able to run the ball just completely, it puts everybody in a pretzel. And what I want to see Jalen do is, I don't know I think he's trying to do too much with his arm, and he's more than capable of doing so. Don't get me wrong, but when he gets that little bit of doubt or discomfort in the pocket, I mean, he can't sit back there and hold it. These sacks off the edge that he's not seeing. I mean, he's holding the ball a little bit too long, but those sacks right there are going to lose you games because they're going to cause sack fumbles. And so, I mean, I want it drilled into him. I don't know if you ever watched Second Chance U. Did you ever see that?
Yeah, you're talking about over in Mississippi.
Yeah, well, you remember when Buddy, he's yelling at John Franklin, and he's like, you got a hole here. Just go. That's what makes you special. That's what I'd be telling Jalen. When he runs the ball, especially with the defense is back in coverage, I mean, it just adds a new dynamic to your offense that almost can't be defended when you run that effectively.
Right. You can't defend it. When he's getting outside of the pocket, when he's getting the corner, he's the most dangerous quarterback in football.
Yeah, well, last year, he was moving within the pocket. He was getting out of the pocket, extending plays, throwing the ball downfield with broken plays. I mean, those are things you can't coach. And it's honestly, it's one of those things that's hard to see in practice too. You don't really know how good a guy is when it plays that way unless you see him in a game type situation. And if he can go back to that, I mean, and I know it's it's backyard ball, and I know Coach Saban used to hate that, but I mean, it's become part of the game really, and it's a pretty effective thing as long as you've got a guy that's capable of doing it, and you do have that in Jalen Milroe. I mean, we forget, last year that offense. I mean, he carried that offense last year.
Yeah, he did,
and he's got the ability to do that this year and get through some of those growing pains with his ability to run. So I just want to see him, hold on to the ball a little less, do what you got to do to make plays with your legs, and just relax out there, because I feel like he's trying way too hard to sit in that pocket. And I don't know if you want to just be a pocket passer, and his legs he's just kind of using secondarily. I mean, I think he's got to use them. It's 50-50, man.
Me too.
You
I
gotta
agree. 100%.
hurt them both ways, and you've got a God-given gift that not many people have.
Yeah.
And the penalties. I mean, that comes with the territory. We kind of saw that towards the end of Coach Saban's career, but it's hard to watch. Kalen DeBoer gets a little more scrutiny because he doesn't have that same response, I guess. But you got to clean that up. And like you said, third down, the most important down of the game. Most important down of the series. It's a momentum killer, or it's a momentum driver. Depending on who gets it, and it's the most key down within every series. So, I mean, I'm right there with you, man. It's where we're the weakest. It's where we need to get better.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, and I think this could be a lot of fun. I mean, remember last year, it was the LSU game where Alabama really put together one of their best offensive performances, and it was Milroe running.
If Jalen doesn't run the ball that effectively, that physically, then I don't think we win that game.
Yeah,
I don't know if there's another. I don't know if we win that game with any other quarterback in there.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. So off week, what's a bye week like at Alabama?
Awful. When Coach Saban's there.
So you don't get to relax. You don't kick back.
You can't practice, man. It's like, I mean, people are starting to fight towards the end of the week again. You start hating each other. This is back to those 15 period practices where it's all out for 5 days.
So you didn't get to go fishing or anything.
No.
Like at Halloween, you could go to a Halloween party.
I don't remember. That wasn't something I really remember too well.
No, you caught him back in. I mean, that was like the end of the real, strict. I don't want to say mean, but the real strict Coach Saban. He started to loosen up by the time 2020 rolled around.
Man. I mean, if you didn't have the right socks on, man, your ass was getting sent back home.
You never got in trouble because you were probably too worried about it.
Yeah, I think all my troubles from Coach Saban were football related.
Yeah, right. I got you. Yeah, I know what you mean. So we'll put the Missouri game behind Alabama. Great win. Still some things that they could definitely clean up. That the second half of the game, Milroe looked like Milroe again. Started running the ball. Started ripping off some good throws. Jeremy Bernard is becoming out, and I know with Ryan Williams on the team, but Jeremy Bernard is becoming the most reliable wide receiver that's on the team. He just does a good job. You can tell the routes are better. He's kind of we're
and he should. He's been in that system.
Yeah, he's a long time dude.
DeBoer,
Yeah, he's not supposed to be a senior in high school.
Yeah, he's kind of like our Richard Mullaney from 2015.
Yeah,
guy helped direct everybody, help tell everybody what the play was, what the call, where's your hot, get everybody on the same page, and he's that guy. And when he committed to Alabama this summer, I was pretty excited about that, because you got to have at least one guy out there with a lot of youth. With a lot of youth in that room, you got to have at least one guy who can help teach right alongside the coach. And I think he's one of those guys.
Yeah, it's been fun watching him. Hey, Cover Crimson guys, make sure you join us, covercrimson.com. We're getting a site makeover right now, covering recruiting with Clint Lamb, Stacy Blackwood. We're talking Alabama. Message board's always a fun place to go duke it out. That's where I'm sure you guys can tell me that I'm too mean on the team sometimes. The funny thing is just hanging out with you guys and getting your opinions, but we want you to be a part of it. Join right now. And if you do the annual subscription, you get the Cover Crimson t-shirt for free as part of it. And Reed will get that thing out to you. So take advantage of that. I saw the box of Cover Crimson t-shirts is getting kind of thin. So you guys might want to sign up now and get that shirt. The other thing you get is the badge that will go next to your name on the message board. That is like, the first badge that you have, like they're doing like the initial OGs, so if you want to get that badge, Cover Crimson right now, covercrimson.com, and make sure that while you're here hanging out with us on YouTube, like and subscribe, thumbs up. We appreciate all those things. And Auburn fans, I know it's a lot for you guys to think of, so don't worry about it. You just give a thumbs up. But Alabama fans, you can do this: like, subscribe, thumbs up, right? Roll Tide, and hit the bell. You guys can do it. I know, because you're Alabama people. Roll Tide. You got to say you don't want to confuse people from Lee County on that.
Yeah. Or Walker County.
No, I love Walker County. Oh man. All right, let's talk a little hoops. And we'll get into that LSU game a lot next week. But you and I both love the basketball team. Man. And this is I was a huge college basketball fan, and then I came to Alabama, and it's been some lean years, man. Yeah. I'm just going to tell you, like, I've been, since I came from Maryland, where they won a national championship. They were really good back when I was a kid. And then Bama was like, just kind of middle of the pack, once in a while contend. I got the Daniel Moore of the only SEC championship that they won up until Nate Oates got here.
Yeah.
Hey, this is a different game now, though, man. This is even better than the basketball I grew up watching with Steve Francis and Juan Dixon and Joe Smith. My favorite Terps, man. I mean, this is the Alabama heyday, and I'm going to some games this year. I'm super pumped, man. And Mark Sears is first team All-American. Grant Nelson, I know you said that if Grant scores 20 points in a game, you're going to grow the mustache. I think that's a great idea.
That bet was last year.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
That was before he had the coming out party.
Yeah, right. Wait, but he's second team All-American. But this is the best Bama basketball team ever, like talent-wise.
Yeah. The only weird thing is that, and I've seen all the names and I recognize the faces, but I just got to get familiar with the roster because I know it's so new this year. There's a lot of moving parts, and I don't know if that's what college basketball is going to be, here moving forward. Is, in 1 year, out the other. But as long as they're in crimson, I'll pull for them.
I'm excited about it, though, man. It's going to be fun, dude. I'm not saying I didn't pull for
When's
Alabama.
The first game?
It's coming up. Let's see. I'm looking it up right now. I mean, it's coming in.
I think we've got like the first 5 games we got a tournament first, don't we?
I'll pull it up.
We going to Maui?
Hey, let's go. I'd love to.
You can give that cup back.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, you got my cup. I stole that from a restaurant out in Hawaii. The Hawaii Bud Light glass. I mean, that's what they're for, though. Like they give those glasses to the restaurant so that people take them home with them. Oh man, I'll tell you what, that would be a fun trip to go out there and follow Bama. Can you imagine that? Like going to Hawaii or Maui or somewhere, like to just like
imagine traveling where was the Sweet 16 played this year? Wasn't Phoenix. No, that's where the Final Four was, right?
Yeah. All right. First game, UNC Asheville, is November 4th. So that is the upcoming week. That's Monday.
Yeah.
And then Arkansas State is Friday.
I feel like we had a slow first 10 games or 8 games, and then it just turned into a brutal schedule.
Well, I mean, they are, but then they're not. They're kind of like UNC Asheville. Wow, it turns into a different game too after the floods and everything there.
Yeah.
Maybe we can, they can help raise some money or get some food or whatever. But that place has been, dealing with a lot over there in Asheville, North Carolina. Arkansas State, they're pretty good. McNeese State's pretty good, but those are the first 3. Then at Purdue, then Illinois, then Houston, then Rutgers. Man, that's some fun games right there, man.
Who did Bruce Pearl come from? Did he go from Illinois to Tennessee? Where was he before Tennessee?
I think that Bruce Pearl was at Wisconsin Whitewater, maybe. It was like a small school.
Tennessee?
Then to Tennessee, yeah.
Huh.
Wisconsin. I want to think it's like Wisconsin Whitewater. I'll look that up. I'm pretty sure it was one of those schools.
He's awesome, man. I love Bruce Pearl.
I think that the Nate Oates Bruce Pearl rivalry is actually why basketball in the States is so damn good, because you almost have to have the other one to, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
if it weren't for Bruce Pearl, I don't know if we're as good in basketball as we are now.
I agree with that, because we're not going to let them just beat us.
Yeah. You can't let little brother run wild.
You got, got to put
him in his place.
Yeah. I think that Nate Oates is one of the best but he's one of the best hires Alabama's had outside of, Bear Bryant and Nick Saban.
Yeah.
And the guy's on a mission.
Kalen DeBoer here in a few years.
I hope so, man. But I think he's on a mission to win a championship. I mean, I really do. I mean, I think you don't win championships and when you're afraid to talk about winning championships. And what I love about him is that he is talking championships. All right, here we
mindset from day one.
Got to have it, right? Stanford as an assistant, Iowa as an assistant, Southern Indiana as a head coach, and then Milwaukee. So it was Milwaukee. I thought it might have used to be University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee, right? Or I guess it still is. So
Southern Indiana, is that where Larry Bird went? It was Indiana State.
Indiana State. He was a Sycamore.
Okay.
Yep. The Sycamore. But I'm excited about some hoops, man. I mean, I wouldn't mind riding up there and going to a game and coming back. Like,
I went to the Iron Bowl basketball game in Tuscaloosa. So it was Brandon Miller's senior year. Actually a hell of a game. We came back from like being 10 down, the whole time we're sitting there like, we're going to come back. And then there's like 3 minutes left. And we're like, wow, we're going to lose this game. And then all of a sudden, that was when we had Quinterly.
Yeah,
Quinterly. I loved Quinterly.
You loved him, huh?
I did. I know he was a little erratic, but man, he played so hard.
I did too.
So hard.
I know. I think there's just some guys like Quinterly in basketball, Milroe in football. Like, they're just, people either love them or hate them. You know? And I get accused a lot of being a Milroe apologist on our channel. But I like him. I mean, I just think that I know from, watching and, just seeing the way that the way that he does things, he's the best option for Alabama right now. And I think he's got special talent.
Yeah.
I hope he wins.
Special for sure. And no one else has his skill set in the entire country. I mean, some quarterbacks are better in some areas, but he's better in other areas. And I'm always going to be, I am an Alabama quarterback apologist, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I feel like I'm honest in my takes, but I'm not going to sit there and I just can't do it. I mean, hell, I get to know these guys. I mean, I know how hard they're working, how much time they're putting in. No, I mean, if there was a guy that came in there since I've left, there hadn't been a guy in there where I was like, man, this guy shouldn't be playing,
Yeah.
I mean, when I saw Jalen play in his first start against Arkansas 3 years ago, I was like, okay, this is a little scary. I mean, I wasn't sure what to expect.
Yeah.
Because, but it was his first start. You know what I mean?
Right.
I was like, I don't know. But then after those first few games last year and even the Texas game, I was like, he's gotten a lot better. I mean, he's really, really improved, and obviously now, I mean, it's undeniable that he's gotten a lot better. Again, still a lot of work to do, but he's done a lot better than I thought after watching that Arkansas game.
Yeah, he's come a long way, but there's 4 games left. And I'm going to, I guess, finish here with grading. I gave Bama players C+, coaching C+. I mean, it was B worthy. I think they could be undefeated right now, but it could have been a lot worse too. I mean, it could be undefeated. And maybe they could have lost 2 more games in there, maybe 3. So they did beat Georgia, but they lost to Vanderbilt. Not that bad of a Vanderbilt team after all. But saying that, I like seeing Coach DeBoer kind of, grabbing players' attention a little bit more.
He got after it a little bit last week.
I like that, and I'm a fan of his. I like him as a person. I think that's, to me, the first thing I can say about a person is that if I genuinely like them and I think they're a good guy and they're smart, I think he is, then you know that you got half of it won.
Yeah.
The lessons that the kids, that the players, not kids, the players are learning right now, lessons, right? Hey, here's a kid with a terminal illness. He's coming in. You guys get to take a couple minutes to make a memory last a lifetime. That's great. Hey, this guy's been taking your picture for 30 years. You probably didn't even know his name. Meet Ken. Boom.
Yeah.
These guys right here, Officer so-and-so and so-and-so, they're not just showing up and walking with me on the field. They're getting there early. They're checking the facility out. This guy's got a dog. That's what, and they're protecting you. You guys should know them, and why? I think one of the best qualities, I'll say this about Ryan Anderson. We give him a huge compliment. One of the things I like about him the most, and there's a lot of things to like about him, is you see him say hi to everybody. He goes up and shakes every person's hand. And you can tell he's engaged,
so genuine,
engaged in a conversation with everybody, he's taking pictures, he's making people's days, and it's not like politician stuff. It's that he's just a great character, person. And I love that about him, because I want to be that way, but sometimes my personality doesn't lend that out. I get a little nervous sometimes when I walk into a room of people I don't know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I'll sit back, and then I'll go around and meet everybody once I kind of see what, not Ryan, he's breaking ice.
Yeah.
And I feel like Coach DeBoer has a big part of that personality. So I really like him, and I would love to see him and this team finish strong.
Well, I mean, I think, the character part of that, to me, that's the first building block of a coach, right? I mean, if you don't have a high standard of character, then your players see right through you all the time. I mean, it just doesn't work out. You'll never be consistent. Your message will never be received the right way. And it will never be the culture that you're trying to build will never be absorbed by your teammates or by your players or your assistant coaches. I mean, who's going to follow a guy that doesn't practice what he preaches? And by all indications, and I've spoken to a lot of people at Alabama that are working at Alabama that, I mean, in some of their words, is, man, I hope we win because I want him to be around as long as possible. I mean, and that is about as good a compliment as you can get, from people that have known you for 6 to 8 months. I love having that kind of a high character guy in our building for our players. I just hope all our young guys, especially the ones that aren't playing, recognize that and see what a gift they've gotten to go play there for a guy that I think is really there for the right reasons. And hopefully it, creates some continuity in that roster, and guys really stay there and love playing there, not only for Alabama, but also Kalen DeBoer.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I think that's a great way to kind of start to wrap up today's episode of Elephant in the Room. mybookie.ag. Use that promo code next round to double your initial deposit. Take advantage of that, and we appreciate you guys. Like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. So we got Halloween. Have a safe Halloween. Enjoy that time with your friends and family. And, on kind of like a separate note, you guys probably know from being in here. Look, even up there. See that tapestry and Shakedown Street behind me on the thing? Got to say that it's a really tough watching the news when Phil Lesh, who was the bass guitarist for the Grateful Dead, passed away this week.
Did he really?
Yeah. And to think everybody has their favorite band. I remember we were talking about Toby Keith when he died. I love Phil Lesh. I mean, I love Jerry Garcia. That's who I'm going to be for Halloween tonight, by the way. And the entire band. I mean, just over the years, I've listened to them for so long, and it's like for different things, there's happy Dead music, there's kind of somber Dead music, and all this, and Phil was he was the bassist. He sung some of the songs. Went and saw him in Nashville in 2022, and was just blown away by how good it was at the Brooklyn Bowl, which is like that bowling alley that's in the minor league baseball stadium up there, and they have concerts and stuff. It's great, man.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to Vegas and saw Dead and Company, and he didn't play with them. That's Bob Weir. And I mean, really, Bob Weir's kind of the last guy now. I mean, there's some other guys left. I think three of the original members are left, Mickey and Billy. And I think only Mickey plays with Dead and Company, but to see these guys and kind of what they mean to you over the years and then they pass away, and it's like, man, and the crazy thing is, like, I've been listening to so many of his songs lately, like the songs that he sings that are in the Dead, and didn't realize how sick he was. But, rest in peace, Phil Lesh. And I know you guys get in the comment section and I read it. Yes, I went to a lot of Widespread Panic shows when I was at Alabama. Okay. Yes, the Grateful Dead did play 1977, the greatest Dead tour that they ever had. And they were the most successful touring band in history. They didn't sell many records. They only had one top 40 hit, but they sold out everywhere they went. They played at Coleman Coliseum, which I think was called Memorial Coliseum back in 77. Greatest run.
Is that where you fell in love?
Well, no, I wasn't there, but I wish I was. But what we do is people made bootlegs.
I can't believe you didn't make that work.
Yeah, okay. It would have been tough to do in 77, pal. But what I can do, though, is I can send you the whole concert. People bootlegged all the shows, and you can hear, and it's just an amazing, amazing concert. So they did play at the University of Alabama.
You were in Tuscaloosa in 77.
Oh, you do you? I'm gonna bring my friend back out here again. He was there. He was at the show. Oh, Kermit from was it like Greenville, Mississippi?
I'm sure plenty of people felt like they saw Kermit at that
show. There might have been some LSD done there. Anyway, just wanted to throw that up before we got out of there. Got out of here today. It was something that a lot of us kind of thought about this week. A lot of people like me.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe not you. You probably didn't know that.
I didn't know.
I know you were probably over in New Orleans for the 2-day show of your favorite singer. See her over there? Sells out.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. I didn't want to say anything.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
It's Taylor Swift.
Oh, did you see Bill Belichick on the Manning cast? Yeah. He came up, he goes, oh.
I think everybody's kind of had enough of her.
Oh.
Yeah. I drank beers one night with Travis Kelce before he was dating her. He was a pretty nice guy.
Yeah, I'm sure he seems like
he's definitely taken his his brand to another level.
Yeah,
we'll put it like that.
He wouldn't have been. You're all in Scottsdale, right?
Yeah, Scottsdale.
Yeah, he wouldn't have been able to just hang out and drink a few beers.
Not anymore.
At that point.
No. We were him and his entourage and Rick Sutcliffe. Mm-hmm. The longtime
him and his brother had become a brand in itself.
Yeah. Well, this was like it was like during COVID. I mean they were shutting down.
Probably one of the top 5 I mean,
podcast
top
guys,
faces in football right now.
Jason or
both
Travis.
of them.
Oh yeah, right, yeah, it's good dude. But now you look at him and he's next level. Just killing it in life. All right, we'll talk to you guys next week. Jake, I'm sure you still going to do the all day election special on here.
Depends on which way it goes.
LT yesterday asked me if I wanted to do that. I'm like, no. No. Who knows what's going to happen next Tuesday? Anyway, we'll be back on here, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. I can tell you one team, one person that always gets our vote. That's Alabama. Right? Probably not even a person that's cool. But roll tide, everybody, and we will talk to you again next week.
Roll.